Just think that it's an opportunity to create energy or like a excitement for the actual release of a record. And I understand that it may be more attention than you usually get, but it'll be the kind of attention that when it goes away, you go away. The company, the system might actually feel like it's a good idea for the moment until they realize that I won't stop. There's nobody in control of me. I'm deciding to fuck your life up. Rick, bro, I'm gonna fuck your life up for fun. This is not new. I do this all the time.
Curtis. You're so infatuated with my lifestyle.
Rick Ross is back in the headlines, but probably not the way he wanted. Last weekend, he dropped his 12th album, Set in Stone, and the internet had a lot to say about it, and 50 Cent had even more. Reports surfaced that the album was tracking under 26,000 copies in its first week. Day one alone reportedly moved just 1,800 copies, translating to roughly 220 album equivalents. Streaming told the same story. About 1.83 million Spotify streams on day one, which fans calculated to around 200 units. People pointed out a single recent Drake track pulled more daily streams than Ross's entire 19-track album combined. Cent jumped on it immediately. He posted, "I just saw your record sales, LOL, 2,000, and kept going, joking that Ross would have to hit the car show circuit and sell chicken wings to stay relevant. Asked point blank if there was anything about Ross or his career he respected, 50 kept it short. There's nothing there." Ross actually tried to flip the script first. He extended what sounded like an olive branch, telling 50 he knew he was raising money for a film project and had even seen studio renderings for the Shoe Court location. He offered him a seat at the table to pitch ideas, no promises attached. "Men of business don't discuss the past," Ross said. Wasn't buying it. And there's irony in the album's own title. Ross rapped about prices being set in stone, a line that took on a life of its own once the real numbers dropped.
Oh, that line happened to come true crazy. He said I was Aiden Ross's streams before Aiden Ross had ever streamed. Oh, yo, Ross's streams looked a little crazy this week, huh? Yeah, Ross's streams did look a little crazy. Still. Yeah, Ross came out and like the numbers on streaming were mad low. Now I kind of like, that line kind of hits different because I think the entire album, I think a recent Drake song like did more than like his whole album of streams. Ross's album streams was notoriously low. Supposedly he did less than 10K.
Hot 97 played the album in full, and Ross did have people showing up to his shows. But the math on first week sales told a brutal story, and the internet ran with jokes about the album going wood or triple copper, mocking how far the sales fell from what a Ross release used to mean. Through it all, Ross stayed publicly relaxed. Asked what he hates seeing said about him online, he said, "If it's funny, I can enjoy it too." Asked about the Drake beef, he stayed vague. "I discuss a lot of things." Ross's own promotion painted a different picture. He hit socials calling the album Album of the Year, pointed to iTunes numbers, shouted out vinyl and merch buyers, and made a point of saying he got paid before the album even dropped, framing it as a boss move. A few days before release, he posted a video basically telling people to laugh if they wanted because the deal was already done regardless of what the numbers showed. The album isn't short on names. 19 tracks with features from T.I., French Montana, Max B, YFN Lucci, Big X The Plug, and Young Miami. But critics said the rollout was too quiet. No real single, no major build-up, no Drake feature to counter the noise. Once the album hit #1 on iTunes, Ross's team pushed that milestone hard, and supporters pointed to it as proof the fan base was still showing up. A clip of Ross comparing his own streaming numbers to Aiden Ross from before Aiden Ross was even a name people knew resurfaced online too, and people used it right back against him once this week's numbers came in. Fans and critics online were split. Some laughed along with the sales jokes, others said everyone should wait for the official charts before drawing conclusions. Either way, the history between these two guaranteed this would be bigger than a normal album drop. Ross also sat down with Joe Budden, doubling down on his story. "I came in 20 years ago every day hustling from the mud to the marble. We speaking real estate. Buy back the block."
He said, "Let these people know you really admire me. You love my style, the way I dress, the money I get. and let them know that if you really could, you would put all this to the side to do business with me and work with me. It's the truth. I know it is.
Asked if his mindset had shifted, he said, got a $500 million mindset. You get 100, you could get a B. None of that stopped 50. This feud goes back over a decade. It escalated hard in January 2009 when Ross's Mafia music leaked, taking his first real shot at 50 on wax, claiming 50 secretly admired his money and style, and bringing up the lawsuit where Ross said they beat 50 in court. 50 fired back, saying Ross only gets covered outside hip-hop blogs by using his name, and mocked Ross for cutting his own grass on his massive property. His recurring point about Ross: he can rap, but his drug dealer bars ring hollow from a man who once worked as a correctional officer, a job that requires a clean record. 50 also brought Ross's late mother into it at one point, which is where a lot of people felt the line got crossed. His defense: your whole career has been based on it, meaning using him for attention. Ross, for his part, hasn't held back either. On Fat Joe and Jada's podcast, when Fat Joe brought up rappers who'd lost momentum, Ross jumped in with, yeah, like 50 Cent, while wearing a ring he claimed was worth $1 million, joking about slapping someone with it until Fat Joe shut it down twice for reaching. Ross also mocked 50's appearance, bringing up his two-tone forehead. On the lawsuit, Ross said, cease and desist was never really our thing. 50 Cent sued me, and we beat him in court, sent him home, and claimed his lawyers found 50 living in a 2-bedroom apartment. So when the sales numbers for Set in Stone started circulating, nobody was shocked. 50 had jokes ready. Asked directly if there was any peace between them, Ross said, nah, homie, we've never been cool from day one. Then went at 50's finances and legacy. He couldn't dress. You don't own your masters. Eminem saved you. Dr. Dre saved you. Ross did it himself. 50 has admitted he sometimes wakes up just to stir the pot, saying flatly, let me call him the monkey he is. His warning to Ross: I understand it may be more attention than you usually get, but it'll be the kind of attention that when it goes away, you go away. There's nobody in control of me. Strip away the beef, and the album does have real moments. Maybach Music 7 with Jeezy and Don Toliver, and Livin' Large with Big X The Plug, both carrying that polished luxury rap sound Ross built his name on. Even critics questioning the sales numbers admit there are standout records here. Commercial performance and quality don't always match, and plenty of fans think this one deserves a track-by-track listen rather than a verdict based on opening week numbers. That said, the numbers reflect something bigger happening in the industry. First week sales used to be the only scoreboard, and one rough debut could flip the whole narrative on an artist. Now streaming, social clips, and viral moments complicate the picture. A slow build doesn't automatically mean a project failed, but a rough opening still shapes the narrative fast, especially for a veteran artist whose supporters say he's earned the right to be judged on more than one weekend, not coasting purely on reputation. Critics push back on that too, arguing an artist with this deep a catalog and this stacked a feature list should still be hitting hard out the gate. Both sides have a point, and neither is fully wrong. One fan moment that got attention during all this was an older clip of Ross pushing for a Drake and 50 collab. Why can't y'all make another song? You throw me the alley-oop for the why, you know I'm gonna dunk. He said he never figured out what went sideways between them, which only made this week's back and forth feel more pointed.
About Ross and his career that you have any respect for?
Oh, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work.
Around the same time, DJ Khaled pushed back his own album, saying it wasn't a reaction to the industry, just that the project, Alhamdulillah God, kept growing and needed more time. He's 20 years into the game with 13 albums behind him, and said he wasn't going to rush something just to hit a deadline. He also mentioned coming off 3 nights at the Jay-Z shows at Yankee Stadium, saying it left him even more fired up to make the album bigger. Fans connected the dots anyway, tying it to the same conversation about how tough the streaming era has gotten for veteran artists. Bottom line, The conversation around Set in Stone became less about the music and more about the scoreboard. 50 Cent made sure of that, and Ross, whether by choice or necessity, stayed unbothered in public while the internet did the math for him. Do you think the sales numbers tell the real story? Or does the music speak for itself? Drop your take in the comments, hit like, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. See you in the next one.